If I could sit down with my younger self and tell you guys what I wish I knew when I first started going to the gym, this is the one piece of advice that I would give you guys. And if your goal is to try to build muscle and you don't want to end up going through this mistake and you don't want to, go through you don't want to go through like lots of mistakes and you want to learn you want to learn quickly as as you step into the gym, then this is the one piece of advice I would give you guys. And this advice is where people to this day, even most of the people who go to the gym, they still don't get this right. And this is simply to stop focusing on how much weight you can lift and focus on your technique, aka form. Meaning focus on your form first and weight will then come second. And I'll explain to you why. Because if your form is rubbish and let's say if you lift heavy, then your muscles will not get responded more effectively than lifting at a lower weight and you're doing it with quality reps with proper form. And when I say proper form, this is what I mean. Firstly, you wanna, as you go down, you wanna control. Like, let's say if I'm doing a, chest machine press. Instead of let's say for a machine press there, if you're, let's say, person number one. This is person number one, yeah. Person number one doesn't give a shit about form and cares more about the weight and ends up lifting like this. And they don't end up going all the way, down to get that deeper stretch. Instead, they end up here and then they go up here or up here. And then, so they basically do half reps and with a heavier weight that they can't even control. Yeah, that's person number one. Person number two is the person that doesn't really care too much about the weight, but ensures that they get the quality of their reps in. Meaning they control the weight as they go down. I mean, you don't have to, control it for, 3 to 4 seconds. You don't have to lift in the 3, 2, 1, pause, tempo. No, you don't need to do any of that. But, if you want to do that, then yeah, you can do that if you want to, practice your form. But as long as you control the weight as you go down and then you get the full range of motion there, your muscles will respond to that more effectively. So let's say person number two doesn't really care too much about the weight, but does lift with good tempo, and with a full range of motion, with a deep stretch as they go to the bottom here for a machine press, for example, and then they go all the way up like that. That person is going to get more results in the long run, over time, than that first person A. Let's call it person A, which I think did I call it person A? Okay, cool. Person one, person A, whatever. That person number two is going to get the better result because chest is getting more, the muscles, or aka the chest, is getting more worked if you control the weight. Because when you control the weight, you end up having more muscle, because it will increase the mechanical tension within your chest, which is why you should also control the weight. You shouldn't just focus on the full, full range of motion. You need to make sure you control the weight as you go down and, go all the way up. So the advice I would give you guys is to focus on form first. Make sure you lift with the correct technique. And then you can start to, focus on getting stronger, upping the weight, increasing the reps. Because progressive overload doesn't build your muscle. You can't force progressive overload. Because if you progressively overload, but you don't lift with a similar form, then that doesn't mean you're getting stronger. It just means that your form is breaking down. So instead, if you focus on getting stronger, but with a similar technique, it doesn't have to be exactly the same, but it has to be in a similar technique with a similar form, focus on getting stronger. And you know, if you don't get stronger every single week, then it's not that deep. Like, yeah, just because you can't really force progressive overload, and you should still be happy because you know you're still lifting with the good form. So my advice would be, do not ego lift and focus on form first, and then the weight will come second. Trust me. Take this from me as well. And I don't want you guys to be like what most guys do in the gym, because I see it a lot in the gym, like people doing half reps, people ego lifting, their reps are just too fast. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, so don't end up being like them, and focus on form first. Get the technique right, and then the weight will come second. If you want more information on how to get lean, then click the 12 to 15% body fat link down within the description of this video. If not, then the fact that you watched this video is good enough for me, and I'll see you on the next one.